Hey YouTube, Andrew back again with another video, and today we have the review of the Dell XPS 15 with its gorgeous 4K 15-inch display with edge-to-edge design. Can it defeat the MacBook Pro as the king of all laptops? Stay tuned to find out if it's a buy or a don't buy. What I really like about the Dell XPS 15 is its gorgeous 15.6-inch UHD 4K display. With a resolution of 3840 by 2160, the resolution cannot be beat. It's gorgeous, it's eye-popping, and it's absolutely a stunner. Excellent job, Dell, with the display. Now, speaking of the display, it has an edge-to-edge bezel-less, almost bezel-less design, and it really is gorgeous. It was a carryover from the Dell XPS 13, which was introduced in 2015 and has been carried over into the Dell XPS 15. Now, as far as performance is concerned, the Dell XPS 15 doesn't disappoint. In fact, it's got the Core i5 Skylake processor. For those that need a stepped-up performance, an i7 is available, which will give you definitely more performance. But the performance on the i5, as I tested it, did very well. In fact, it also has an NVIDIA GPU, which certainly helps with processor-intensive graphics performance. If you're going to use, say, Adobe Premiere, you're going to work in Photoshop, the GPU will definitely help in rendering or video processing. So good job, Dell, in terms of performance on this device. As you can see from this performance on the Geekbench test, it did a 2484 on the single core score, and on the multi-core score, it did a 6044. Not bad. Now, keep in mind, this is the Core i5. It does have 4 cores, and it's running at the 2.30 gigahertz level. Now, another great feature of this device is its beautiful keyboard. Although the key travel is a little bit short and could use a little bit more key travel, it does feel pretty nice and very responsive. It is backlit. The backlit gets very bright, and you can adjust it as well, and it works very well in dark environments. Now, another thing I like about this device is it has a beautiful glass trackpad that's very responsive and has been one of the best Windows trackpads I've used in a long time. The best one I've used so far is a Surface Book, but this is definitely on par with that. Now, it's not as good as the MacBook trackpad, but then again, what else is as good as the MacBook trackpad, except the MacBook trackpad for that matter? So as far as trackpad is concerned, this is a winner. Now, as far as port selection is concerned, this doesn't disappoint. It has, on one side here, you see the power, as you can see here, the power supply, USB 3.0, HDMI out, a Thunderbolt port out, a microphone headphone jack. Going along to the other side, you have a full SD card slot, a USB 3.0 slot, a battery indicator light, just like you would find in the Dell XPS 13. It's also found on here, and a Kensington lock port. Moving to the front of the device, there is nothing on the front except a charging indicator light right there. And then on the top, on the back of the device, it's nothing. Going to the bottom of the device, as you have seen before, you have the Dell information as far as service tag and warranty information, which you get from that information. It's all there under this flip-out lid, and it's got the 2 rubber feet or bars as you have here. You got 1 speaker here, and you have 1 speaker there, and you have a vent on the bottom there. So overall, excellent build quality, good port selection, good job, Dell. Here's a test of the sound of the Dell XPS 15. I'm very impressed with the speakers. It gets pretty loud and the sound is pretty full. I'm gonna play for you my last video, which is the VAIO Z Canvas review, whether or not it was a buy or a don't buy. So check out that video to see if we gave it a thumbs up or not. But to test the sound on this device, please give a listen, and please note that it's turned up to 100%. And today we have our review of the VAIO Z Canvas, the powerful 2-in-1 that may or may not dethrone the Surface Book or even the Surface Pro 4. Let's find out if this is a buy or a don't buy. As you can see, the sound on this is very good. There are some things that I don't like. First, battery life. Dell advertises that you can get anywhere from 10 to 12 hours on this thing. I don't understand how you can get or achieve such a battery life on this device. I was barely able to get 5 hours on this. And again, it all depends on your usage, your power management settings, your power management aggressiveness or lack thereof. So you have to keep in mind that your mileage will vary depending on what you're doing. But I got nowhere near the 10 to 12 hours or whatever it is that they're advertising, it is not realistic. If you're going to do anything, especially with this 4K screen on this, which draws a lot more power than say a 1080p screen, which by the way, this also comes in a 1080p configuration, I'm sure you can get at least a couple, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 more hours on the 1080p screen. But on the UHD 4K display, which draws a lot more power, you're basically getting, I believe the most you'll ever get out of this is anywhere from 5 to 6 hours. If you can get more out of that, you'd have to certainly turn the screen down to almost zero and basically have all your radios off in terms of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and basically don't surf the internet is basically what you have to do to achieve such a 12-hour battery length. But realistically, real world use, you're going to get maybe 5 to 6 hours on this device. Now, another nitpick I have with this device is that although I love the build quality and I love the design, the fact of the matter is this carbon fiber on the inside is a big fingerprint magnet. And as soon as you open it up and start touching it or doing anything, you're going to see the fingerprints. So that's just a little nitpick of mine that I don't really like, but nonetheless, the carbon fiber, which I love as far as the design, I love the metal construction, but the fact of the matter is you're going to see fingerprints, oil stains, or whatever is on your fingers will rub off onto the carbon fiber. So just a little bit of a negative, something to keep in mind. Now, another thing that I don't like about this is the fact that they had to put the webcam on the lower right-hand corner right there. And the reason they did that is because they made the bezels on this device very thin, almost virtually non-existent, to get that beautiful infinity edge-to-edge display. Webcam is basically an up-your-nose webcam. And for those who are using Skype or any kind of video conferencing software, keep that in mind. You're going to have to prop it up with some books or something to raise the height so people on the other side are not looking up your nose. Take a look at the example of just how bad the placement of this webcam is. Take a look. Now, to give you an example of how bad the placement is on the Dell XPS 15, as you can see here, this is the angle you're going to get when you're sitting at your desk trying to do a Skype conversation. It's definitely an up nose, not very flattering experience. So Dell, next time, please try to find a better place for your webcam. Now, another problem I've had with this device is that it may not be specific to Dell XPS 15 or the Dell XPS line for that matter, as say as the Dell XPS 13. But the fact of the matter is I've been having a lot of video driver issues, and I think it has more to do with Skylake and Windows 10 than it does with the Dell, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up. So I've been having random video driver issues, restarts, so there are something to keep in mind. Now, one final negative of this is its price. This starts, I believe, at $15.99 for the 4K version that I was talking about. I'm really keeping this to the 4K display version, not the 1080p the 1080p version, which is a lot different, I think, than this device. This is more of a higher end device, even though it has the same body. It has the touchscreen and has the 4K UHD display. But as far as price is concerned, I was able to pick this up at Microsoft on sale for $14.99 plus tax. Here in Nevada, I was looking at over $1,600, which is a lot to pay. Now, you are getting a lot for your money. You're getting the Core i5 at that price. If you step it up a few $100s more, you can get the Core i7. It comes with an NVIDIA GPU. So for those who need the processor intensive graphics performance, you will get it out of that GPU. So you are paying a premium for the performance. But to me, it is worth it. So I just wanted to bring up the price as a consideration, because those who are going to look at this are going to also look at the MacBook Pro, which is also very expensive. So they're very comparable devices in terms of performance, but you can get the i7 on this if you need stepped up performance, but you're going to pay a premium for that. Overall, what do I think about the Dell XPS 15? Is it a buy or a don't buy? I'm going to have to say it's a buy. I love its gorgeous 15.6-inch 4K display. I love the infinity edge-to-edge minimal bezel display. I love the fact that it crammed a 15.6-inch display in a 14-inch body. At 4.5 pounds, it's very compact, and you can use it on the go, outside the house, outside the office, and still have a mobile video rendering powerhouse. I love the fact that it has an NVIDIA GPU. I love the fact that it can do 4K video rendering, especially if you're doing 4K video on YouTube. It really does the job. It definitely competes with the MacBook Pro in terms of price and performance. I love the build quality. The aluminum build quality really is top-notch. Definitely expected since the XPS 13 was released last year. No different in this baby. I also like the fact that it has a nice array of ports, that it has a full-size SD card, it has the Thunderbolt out, it has a full-size HDMI out, and I love that very much because as somebody who does video, you certainly appreciate that. Now, what don't I like about this device? I don't like the fact that the battery life is only 5 to 6 hours in realistic, real-world use, and I don't like the fact that it put the webcam on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, so you get those up-nose Skype conversations or video conferencing. I understand why they did it, because they wanted to eliminate as much as possible the bezels around the screen. Did so at the cost of the display as far as the webcam quality is concerned. Now, the webcam itself is fine. The positioning is the problem. Aluminum construction all around. It has the carbon fiber on the inside. I love its beautiful glass trackpad with its responsiveness. I love the keyboard, although I wish it had a little bit more travel, but I love the backlight on the keyboard. Definitely somebody who's in the as a creative professional, or somebody who does video rendering or Photoshop will definitely appreciate that full-size SD card. So at $1499, it competes with the MacBook Pro in terms of price and performance, and I think you get a real value, especially the fact that you're getting a 4K display. Whereas on the MacBook, you're getting less than 4K. You're getting the almost 2K display, or the Retina display that Mac touts. So definitely a buy. If you have any questions about this device or any other device that you'd like me to review, I'll try to make it happen. Please share this video if you liked it, and please hit the like button. I have a lot of things coming up, especially next week. Stay tuned. I have the unboxing and review of the Lenovo Mix 700. I'm very excited about that 2-in-1. I've heard a lot about it. Now finally we'll get it in our studio to do some testing. So until then, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.